What's going on, everybody? This is Terrell Friday with FutureDDS, and on this installment of the DSC series, we have Christina Nisivoccia, right? Got it right. There we go. From Rutgers School of Dental Medicine in Newark, New Jersey. So Christina, I just want to say thanks for taking some time out and speaking with us, even though, we have a little extra time now, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So if you could, just, give everybody a brief reintroduction, tell everybody where you're from, where you went to undergrad, what you majored in, and just a little bit about your journey into dentistry.
Okay, so I'm Christina Nisivoccia. I am from New Jersey, Nutley, New Jersey. I went to undergrad actually at the University of South Carolina in Columbia, South Carolina. My major I was a business major with a focus in business administration, like entrepreneurship and human resources, so absolutely nothing to do with dentistry at all. I started college wanting to be a concert producer, so I was taking business classes and also like live entertainment classes to try to like dip my foot in that. But I don't know, it just like we had guest speakers and I wasn't really loving it that much. And I worked for an orthodontist for like 2 or 3 years when I was in high school. And so I was exposed to dentistry a lot. It never like clicked in my mind that that was something I should have been doing until I started my classes for live entertainment at college. And I remember walking home from class one day and I was talking to my mom on the phone and I was like, I don't think this is going to work out. I need to like do something else. I have to switch paths. And she was like, well, you really liked working at the orthodontist office. And I remembered back in high school, I asked my science teacher for a letter of recommendation for college, and she asked what I was studying, and I told her like concert, live entertainment, music, and she was like, you really should be doing science. Like, is it okay if I put in your recommendation letter like how good you are at science? And I was like, sure, that's fine by me. And I don't know, so like thinking of all that, I kind of was just like, all right, I'm good at science. I enjoy science. I really liked working for my orthodontist in high school. I need to do something else. So I like just started to explore that option. And as I explored it more, it just like seemed like the right path.
All right. So it kind of found you as you were looking for something new.
Yeah, it was not the traditional, like my parents are dentists, like that's just what I'm going to do. It wasn't even something I ever thought about growing up at all. But I mean, I like it now. I'm 3 years into school now.
So you're a third year. So I'm asking you to just, take a blast to the past and just think about when you were studying for the DAT. Like, what were some of the things that you used to, help you improve your score? You felt like were useful to help you prepare?
So, all right, studying for the DAT. I hate thinking about that time in my life. But
it's a terrible time. Like we all had to go.
Horrible time.
Yeah.
You just have to like kind of accept that it's a bad time. So me not having anybody in my family that is a dentist or anything that like anybody I know that went through this, and I mean all of my friends at college were business majors, so I honestly like felt kind of lost. Like I kind of decided this is what I was going to take on, and I don't know, I just like didn't really know where to go. So I had like a weird journey too. So I took a summer class because I was a business major at school. So when I switched to start doing dentistry, my advisors were in the business school. And so they were, I don't know if they were trying to keep me in the business school, but they said like, keep your business major and just take the extra classes. Yeah. So I took a summer class while I was home one summer to make up the time that I lost. So I was taking the science class, and this girl must have heard me say that I wanted to go to dental school. And so she asked about my DAT, and she just like mentioned that like DAT boot camp class that everyone apparently knows about, like Orgo Man. I had never heard of that before. Yeah. And so I, not knowing like how to even begin to study for that kind of test, I like looked into those classes. I was like, oh, this is definitely what I have to do. Personally, for me, I need someone to like teach me things, like not necessarily like in a lecture style hall, in a lecture hall, but I have a hard time just like looking at something that I've never like seen before and completely grasping it. So I don't know, I liked the idea of like going to a class and like having someone teach me. Mm-hmm. And for me, that worked out really well. I know people that don't need to do that, and that's fine. But so I did that class all summer, which I honestly loved. I commuted like 2 hours there every, like 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was far, but it was really helpful. But I mean, I felt like I don't know if I would have done as well as I did if I didn't take that class.
Gotcha.
I didn't really even do anything else. I studied all summer, and then I was gonna take it before I went back to college, and I panicked and pushed it back. And so then I was gonna take it down in South Carolina. I think I pushed it back again. I was like juggling classes, work, studying for the DAT. Not a good time, but I mean that's what worked for me. The definitely the classes and just like those textbook. I know that guy sells textbooks. They're really good.
Got you. So, speaking in particular to, Rutgers, do you guys have any type of pre-dental programs, whether it's like a master's program or,
Yeah.
impressions days or
Yeah,
pre-dental days?
that's actually how. So at that summer class that I took, that girl that was telling me about how to study for the DAT, she also mentioned this program at Rutgers called Gateway to Dentistry, which again I've never heard of. So I started looking into it, and I think there's like, I don't know, I want to say like 300 applicants every year. They do like 2 cycles every year, one in the winter, one in the summer. They get like 300 something applicants, and they accept like 30 kids. And I got accepted. You basically are like going to dental school for 8 days. So I got to do that one summer.
Nice.
And I mean, you're with all the professors. You're like listening to lectures from like different specialties throughout the 8 days. You get to do a lot of hands-on things. I think we were like drilling, which is really cool, like for a college student to do over the summer. And you're meeting with like administration at the end of that week. You had like a mock admissions interview with someone that's on the admissions board, so you get to know them really well. And then by the time I was going back for my real interview, I like bunch of familiar faces. I remember like walking up to doctors, like saying like, "Hi, how are you?" Yeah. Everyone else at my interview day was like, "Oh, how do you know all of them?" Like, "Oh, I did a program here." But they do Gateway to Dentistry for college students, and then I know they also have it's like decision for dentistry for high school students, because I actually was one of the mentors for that this year. And basically I think it's just like 3 days throughout like the high school kids year. They come in, they actually get to observe us in the clinic. We do hands-on stuff with them. They have there's another thing too. I'm horrible because I can't remember the name of it right now, but I know a few of my classmates did it. It's over the summer, and you actually like dorm there, and they give you like a stipend to live there, and you're taking like actual classes. You're like literally taking classes, and I'm pretty sure you get credit for them. Like you take, or I think you do. Or this girl in my class took it, and she was saying like she took like physics before she took physics in college, so she like was exposed to all of it before, which really helped her. I mean, that's really cool too. Anything you can do.
That's like a transition for high school students, or is it just in general?
That one was, I think that one's college.
Okay.
I think it is.
Just like a summer enrichment program.
I think it's a summer program. I think it's like a couple weeks in the summer. I should know the name. They like have changed the name of it a few times, and I can't remember what it's called now. It's not only for dental students. It is like dental. I think it's like nursing, med students. I think. I don't want to give wrong information, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
No, I'm sure, it's something out there. It's good to know though, so everybody can go out there, of course, probably come back and ask you a question if they need any more clarification.
Right.
Probably give them
well, I mean, I'm really grateful that I just like happened to have to go to that summer class, and that girl happened to mention that program to me. I think Gateway to Dentistry is like a big reason why
you ended up there.
Yeah, why I'm there, why I ended up there.
Okay, so when you were applying to schools and everything, how many schools did you actually end up applying to?
I think a lot, like a lot. So I went to school in South Carolina. I don't recommend this. I went to school in South Carolina, and my intention was never to come back up to New Jersey. I honestly think I just went down the list on like that like common application website, whatever it was called, and it's like by state, and I think any like state I was willing to live in, I just like checked the box to like send a lot. But you know how so you send that application out, and then they all personally email you, and then they want you to pay them again
for the supplementals.
Right. I don't think I like did all of that.
Okay.
I think because Rutgers actually was the first school that got back to me. It was like 2 weeks after I sent that first thing out. It was really fast. I got invited back for an interview like 2 weeks after, and my interview was really, really soon after that. So Rutgers like happened quick enough that I didn't end up like paying a bunch of the other schools.
Okay, yeah. No, it worked out for you then. So how was the actual how was the actual interview at Rutgers? You know, you say you had some practice doing the summer program, but how was it the actual day, you know, showing up, the tour and everything?
So it was obviously nerve-wracking. I feel like any interview for anything in your life is nerve-wracking, especially something like as big as like, oh, I really want to get into dental school.
For sure.
Now that I'm in dental school, I'm like friendly with the doctor that interviewed me, but he's very tough on his interview days. And so, but I think he does it like, it's like he's joking around because he's funny. We've joked about it since, but I was like the first person called out of the room that day, of course. And we're talking, and the first question he asked me was like, it was like, so why are you a business major? And I gave the classic like textbook, like, well, you know, I really want to know how to like manage people, like if I were to have my own practice one day. And he just looked at me and was like, I'm not buying it. And so now I'm like sweating. Like, shit, that's like a horrible first answer to my interview.
Yeah.
But no, after that, like as the time went on in that interview, I realized like, oh, they don't actually, like they already know about me on paper. Like he actually just wanted to have a conversation. Like that's actually what they were doing. He might have asked me like 2 questions about my application that he had in his hand, and then I could tell he was like done. He was just like about to be like, all right, next. And so I actually started asking him questions, and then we got talking for like 30 minutes after that. Right. It was really just a conversation. I wish I had known that before I started, because I was like panicking, looking up like, look, what are proper answers to these interview questions, and
super nervous, like searching all the blogs.
They're not looking for that. They're looking to make sure you know how to talk to people, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure, definitely. I try to tell people that all the time. Just relax, be yourself. That's the best. That's the best thing you could do, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, you could tell a nervous college student that until you're blue in the face. But I mean, I would have been like, I'm gonna be nervous no matter what going
every
into
time. Yeah. For sure. So after you end up getting the acceptance, you realize you're gonna be going to Rutgers. How was it when you actually showed up to campus for that first year? How was it, transitioning the first year? How the curriculum set up and everything?
The transition, I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard. And people will tell you it's really hard, but you're not going to comprehend how hard the transition is until you're there. You go from, I think the most credits I took at a time in college was like, I don't know, maybe like 21, which I had to have like permission from the registrar to like put myself in that many credits. At dental school, I think my first semester you're taking like 40 something credits at a time. It's
something crazy.
It's just a lot. It's overwhelming. But I had someone say to me once, this kid that's a year above me in dental school, I asked him like what his experience was. And he said, it's the most work I've ever done in my life, but I'm also having like the most fun I've ever had. And that stuck with me. And while I was in my first year, we'd be in study rooms like all night, me and my friends ordering food like to study rooms at school all the time, like every day. But like cracking up, like laughing, like it becomes the new normal. And after you get past the transition of like, man, like all my friends from college have jobs and like they're making money and like they get to go out and do this, and like I'm studying every weekend. Once you get past that, because like it is, I mean, for some people they don't care, but other people that are like to be social, I mean, it is something annoying that you have to get over.
Yeah, it's an adjustment.
It's an adjustment, but once you get past that and that becomes your new normal, I mean, if you're going to be miserable about it, then, I mean, that's not really helping anybody. You just kind of got to understand, like, this is what I'm doing. There's a lot of upsides to being a student, too. Like, we get a summer vacation. Like, all my friends that have jobs, they don't get a summer break. It's like, it's fine.
That is true. So how was the curriculum set up there, and, like, how are you guys introduced into the pre-clinic and clinical aspect?
I think we start pre-clinic, like, right away. Like,
okay.
They start you off slow. Like we have those, I don't know do you know what those like little drilling blocks are?
Learner prep blocks.
Yeah, learner prep. So they start you off slow doing stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure we get started right away. And I know they don't do that at all schools, because I had a friend at another school, and it was like 2 semesters in, and he said he hadn't even touched a drill yet.
Yeah.
We do get started pretty quick at Rutgers. The classes.
Is it like block style or PBL, or is it integrated?
It's not block style. It's just like we're on trimesters, so you just have a mix of everything the whole semester. Your tests are just kind of scattered everywhere. But I mean, it's though I feel we used to call them like a hell, like, oh, we have a hell week coming up. Just like, I mean, you would get like a random week that was like kind of crazy, but you know, you just got to get past that week and then
you're good to go.
You're still as it comes. But one thing I thought was really cool was like our anatomy lab was like completely self-taught, which I thought was crazy. And that's like the first thing you do first year, like first semester, first year, you're like in a cadaver lab, and that was nuts to me. It was really cool.
I mean, it makes you feel like an official dental student when you get in there and you're like.
They just like they put you in like a little group. It's self-taught, so like no one's teaching you anything, and they hand you like a pencil box of like different like tools, and they're like, okay, scalpel and like what do you mean?
Yeah, you learn on the fly, but you get there. You end up getting to the
Oh, it's cool. Honestly, that was my favorite class. And another thing that I'd like to say is like people love, like especially upperclassmen, like love to freak out the underclassmen, like oh that this class is impossible, like
yep.
I had to repeat the year because of that class, like so many people fail that class. So many people said that about our anatomy class, and then I was like, I literally was getting hundreds on the exams. Like, you just cannot listen to upperclassmen because that just might not have been a class that clicked for them, and a class that I really struggled with might be really easy to someone else. So I mean, dental school is hard. You're gonna have to work hard, but there's no reason to let someone else's experience about a class like freak you out or like stress you out about something.
For sure. And when do you guys actually get into clinic to start seeing patients?
You get like around 2 patients your spring semester of your second year. So you'll do a cleaning, and then like if they can get you an operative patient, they'll let you do like a small class 1 or something. Gotcha. But then obviously 3rd and 4th year is like full.
Pure clinic, pretty much all clinic. Okay. So last couple questions as we start to wrap up. What's something that you feel like is unique about your dental school experience? You know, granted, you only have your experience at university or Rutgers, but you know, what's something you feel like is unique about it?
Right. So I was thinking about this question because it is a little tricky. I think like my best answer would be the reason why honestly, the reason why I fell in love with Rutgers, and it's because when I was in that program, that summer program, and when I did my interview there, like honestly, I'm not lying, just walking around the hallways and seeing how the students interacted with the doctors, like it seemed like everyone was friends. Like they would like see a doctor and be like, "Oh, doctor, like what are you doing today? Like how was lunch?" And I just came from such a big college. I think University of South Carolina was like 34,000 students, and Rutgers is this really small dental school. We had like 90 kids in a class, and I think that's just like what I was looking for. I wanted to be able to form like relationships with people, and like, I don't know, like get to know the doctors that I'm working with, and not kind of, I don't know, I didn't want to like get like lost in the crowd again, because I feel like that's kind of what happened in my 500 person classes in college.
It's very easy to get lost.
Yeah. So I mean, I liked the attitude of everyone. It didn't seem, I mean, I kind of pictured dental school as this like scary place. Like it was, I don't know, it was like hard to get into and like really strict and like really complicated when you get there. But then when I was walking through the hallways, I saw how excited everyone was to be there and like see each other and interact with each other on a daily basis. I don't know how they are at other schools, but that's something that really stuck out to me while I was there.
Definitely it's about those networks and those relationships that you build, you know, definitely create an experience. So
makes it a little less miserable.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the last question as we wrap up is if you can go back right now in time and tell yourself, you know, when you were younger, still applying to school, if you can give yourself any advice, what would that advice be?
Honestly, I think it would be relax. Calm down, you're whatever you think you're doing, it's right. Like I just feel like people, you can get caught up in like trying to make sure like, I need to be like doing all this, like people go into like they come in with like hundreds of hours of shadowing, like it's just unnecessary. Relax, like chill out, you're doing everything right, just like keep your grades up, study hard for the DAT. Definitely don't apply to like 17 dental schools because you don't. I was very stressed out in my experience of applying and like making sure I got in. It was very high stress, and I don't think it needed to be. It was very easy, like apply, 2 weeks later, got an interview. First interview I got accepted. Just be a normal person, chill out, relax, enjoy college.
It'll come to you. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christina, for taking some time out again on behalf of all the pre-dents and everything. You gave some valuable information. I'm sure they learned a lot from hearing you speak about Rutgers.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This was fun.
So if anybody has any more questions for you, about your journey, or any more questions about Rutgers, how could they get in touch with you?
Oh, definitely reach out to me. I mean, the easiest way would probably be through my Instagram. If I don't know.
So what's your Instagram handle? I guess so you can.
Yeah, it's my long last name. It's just CNISIVOCCIA, and I'm sure you can like link it somewhere.
We'll put it down in the description for
you can DM me anything. I love talking about this. I mean, dental school is literally my life. So any questions anyone has, I'm happy to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. On behalf of FutureDDS and Tyler, myself, all the viewers out there, everybody out there, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button as well as the notification bell, so you know whenever we post up new content. But that's gonna wrap it up for our interview today. See you guys next time. Thanks again, Christina.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.